If I had to pick one nutrition goal that I think almost every single client and person that I know has, it's to increase their veggie intake. And I think there's a reason for that. Listen, I personally, as a dietitian, love veggies, but that doesn't mean that I don't also struggle like the rest of you with incorporating my veggies. I think there are a few things that I've learned over the years that helped me actually go from loathing veggies and kind of hating them and thinking of them as a necessary evil to enjoying them and actually finding them palatable and enjoyable to have in my diet. If you're new to the channel, hello and welcome. My name is Katie. I'm a registered dietitian and certified personal trainer. And here on the channel, we talk about how to have a healthy relationship with food and a healthy lifestyle without stressing and obsessing over the scale, calories, or macros. I want you to be able to be healthy, strong, and fit without having to let it control your life. So without further ado, let's get into the tips and strategies for how to increase your veggie intake, even if you're not the biggest fan of veggies just yet. So the first tip that I have for you is one that I love to nerd out about. If any of you have read Atomic Habits, then you may have heard of this before, and that is habit pairing. So a habit pairing is when you take an already present and established habit, something that you do every day with ease, and you pair it with something that you want to be a healthy habit that maybe you haven't quite gotten down just yet. For example, eating more veggies. So for example, if your midday snack every single day is trail mix, instead of just replacing the trail mix with the veggie, which can be a pretty hard transition to accomplish, have that trail mix, but also pair one of your favorite veggies with it. So a good pairing that comes to mind for me would be trail mix and maybe some baby carrots, or trail mix and some of those little Roma tomatoes, or trail mix and some cucumber sticks or cucumber slices. I think that would be a really good pairing, and again, an easy way to incorporate something that you already enjoy with something that you need to incorporate more of, or that you want to incorporate more of. And the reason this works is that our brains are kind of wired to do things on autopilot that are already established. So if you are in the habit of having coffee every morning, then you probably don't even think about it when you turn the coffee pot on, you put the filter in, and you put the coffee grounds in and start your coffee pot. And hopefully you added water before that. You probably don't even think twice about it. You could do it with your eyes closed. Same thing goes for food type habits. So if you have any type of meal or snack that is very habitual, something that you could easily incorporate veggies into, I think that would be a great way to have it pair with this one. You could also do it like if you have scrambled eggs every morning, you could incorporate bell peppers or spinach into those scrambled eggs instead of just having plain scrambled eggs. That would be another kind of way to habit pair a food that you enjoy. Now, tip number 2 is pair the veggie with something that you already like. And I know it may sound a little bit like tip number 1, but it's a little different, and let me explain why. So for this tip, what I mean by pairing it with something that you already like is that you can have it with, say, ranch, or your favorite hummus, or tzatziki, or a sauce that you really enjoy. Have it paired with a flavor that you already are familiar with and know that you like. So again, carrots or bell peppers or any of the fresh veggies are really easy to do with this one, because you can pair it with something like ranch or hummus, or any kind of dip or sauce or flavor that you're already familiar with and like. You can also do this with kind of like a cheese platter, so have it with crackers and veggies and cheese. That's another good way to mesh in the veggie intake with stuff that we all love, crackers and cheese. I mean, if you don't like crackers and cheese, think of something else that's similar to that. But I think universally, most of us really enjoy that pairing. You can also add a little wine to it if you're into that. But that's another easy way to get your palate adjusted to incorporating more veggies. Some of us actually are what's called a super taster. So veggies can be a very bitter taste, and that can kind of shock our taste palate. So if you pair it with something that you already like, it really just makes it easier to have. I know that kind of sounds like duh, but like it really does make the whole thing easier. Tip number 3 is to get creative. So I think one of the reasons that I definitely see that people just don't like incorporating veggies is because they just look at maybe the fresh veggies out there and they really just, they don't know what to do with them. It's like, do I just eat this potato raw? Do I just have this bell pepper like I do an apple? Like, what do I do? So it can make veggies a lot less palatable if you don't know what exactly to do with them. And I'm not, shaming anyone if you're not totally into cooking. It took me a long time to get back into the flow of cooking. It was something that I really loved before college and in college, but then afterwards, I don't know, I just kind of fell off the bus with it. Fell off the boat, what am I saying? Anyway, it can get really hard to come up with creative and fun ideas with veggies, but there are definitely some ideas, and I have to say a lot of them I learned from HelloFresh because I am absolutely obsessed with HelloFresh. I am not sponsored, but they have some really good and really creative recipes. So what are some creative recipe ideas, you might ask? Something like zucchini boats, where you scoop out the middle and then you have a little zucchini boat where you can add a filling into it that's really flavorful, top it with cheese or whatever you prefer, and you can roast it in the oven, and it's actually really, really delicious. I know it may not sound the best to some of you, but it's actually really delicious. I am a huge zucchini fan. But even if you're not, I highly recommend it. Other recipe ideas or creative inspiration would be like cauliflower pizza. You can swap it out for regular pizza every so often, and that is another way to incorporate veggies in an easy and creative way. And if you just want to go a little less crazy and a little more traditional, having something like a veggie soup with the leftover veggies in your fridge. When they are about to go bad, you can throw them all in a pot, put some broth in, and add some other flavorings and different meats or beans or whatever you like in that soup. And if you're not into soups, you can also do the same type of thing with a casserole. I really love a good chicken, broccoli, and rice casserole. And again, I will try to remember to leave all the recipes that I really love in the description below, because there's some HelloFresh ones that are recipes on HelloFresh.com, and then there's also some that are just like, out there floating on the internet, and they're just really good gems. So I'll make sure to share those below. Tip number 4 to incorporate more veggies really easily and seamlessly is to add them to your smoothie. Now, this one, you kind of have to be selective with your veggies because you can definitely go wrong with this one. Some veggies may be better than others in smoothies, but I'm thinking things like kale and spinach especially are really easy to incorporate into a fruit smoothie because you can barely taste them and then you end up with a beautiful green smoothie. So who doesn't like that? I've also heard of people using things like frozen cauliflower in their smoothie. Now, I'm not gonna say I condone that because I'm trying to think, like, do you need to cook that cauliflower or no? I don't know, something about that freaks me out a little bit, but if you want to look it up and like make sure it's food safe and all that fun stuff, my favorite go-to recipe is definitely like a cup of almond milk, a frozen banana, a scoop of vanilla protein powder, peanut butter, a cup of spinach, and then you can also add like an extra fruit in there if you want to, like mango or strawberry, but all of those together is a really, really, really amazing combo. That's my go-to smoothie, but I kind of just use what I have in my fridge. And then tip number 5 for incorporating more veggies into your diet, even when you don't love veggies, is to use the stinking air fryer. I think you're either on the air fryer train or you're not. Like, you either have an air fryer in your house and you're totally obsessed with it, or you have no idea what I'm talking about and you're like, why does everyone that has an air fryer talk about it like they're the best thing since sliced bread? It's because they are. But with an air fryer, it's super simple. I recommend just about any veggie. I love broccoli, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts. You can do literally anything. You can do sweet potatoes, regular potatoes, but I just recommend cutting into 1/2-inch pieces the veggies that you prefer, putting them in a bowl, drizzle some olive oil all over the veggies. And yes, it is dietitian approved to add some healthy fats. You can also use avocado oil if you're doing a higher cooking temp. Make sure they are small enough that you can really crisp them up in the air fryer. And you put salt, pepper, and your favorite herbs and spices on them. And you can even like drizzle a little bit of lemon juice at the very end if you'd like. If you're cooking in the air fryer, make sure to use like 375 to 400. If you are cooking in your oven, something like 400 to 450. Make sure you roast those babies up because I think that's the best way to do it. I mean, that's of course like my own humble opinion, but I think most people who think they're not veggie lovers just haven't had veggies cooked very well for them. So try out that like easy go-to recipe and tell me what you think. Try it out with your favorite veggies first and then branch out and try some other ones that you haven't tried and let me know how it goes and if you are sold on an air fryer yet. Let me know, are you an air fryer junkie already? Holler at me in the comments section below and I will also leave a link to the air fryer that I have in case you are interested. Mine is an air fryer slash pressure cooker, but I really don't use the pressure cooker part as much as I should, but it's a good little combo. It's a ninja. And this is kind of like a bonus tip. I kind of mentioned that I really love HelloFresh for their recipes. HelloFresh has a lot of really good vegetarian friendly recipes. They also have a lot of non-vegetarian recipes that incorporate plenty of veggies, so I really love them for having that inspiration. And then one of my favorite cookbooks as well is Cook Once, Eat All Week. I use a lot of the recipes in there and they are very, very, very healthy, veggieful, and flavorful, and I will leave her cookbook in the description as well because that again is probably the one that I find myself leaning towards the most. For some reason, I am very random with my recipe choices. I don't use recipe books a ton, but I try to. And she definitely has like one of my favorite ones. So anyway, I'll leave it below and let me know in the comments section below, what is your favorite veggie? Mine, I think, oh, that's a tough one. I would say mine are broccoli, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, and carrots, and sweet potatoes. So I'm definitely like a green, orange, cruciferous veggie kind of gal. Let me know in the comment section below if you agree with my listing and my ranking or if you have a totally different list of top 3 to top 5 veggies. And if you don't have a top 5 yet, hopefully by the end of this video and applying some of these tips, you can add to that list and eventually have a top 5. Okay, I'm gonna shut up and let this video come to a close. If you have any interest in working with me or finding different ways to connect with the community, I will leave all the links to work with me in the description box below. I have everything from one-on-one coaching to my online nutrition course and different fun stuff like that that you'll have to check out. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you want to continue chatting with me today, I will leave a link to a video that I think you'll love right here so you can click through and continue hanging out with me today.